Hi, welcome. James Vasari here. I'm going to go over my plein air stuff that I bring out when I'm doing pencil. Particularly, this is for my for the perspective workshops that I do. I like to work in graphite. So here, I'm going to open up my bag and show you what I've got. Some of this stuff isn't graphite work. This is more or less watercolor. But for the graphite, of course, I bring out a couple of sketchbooks. This is an old Canson sketchbook. It's I'm using it up. It's got perforated edges and a spiral spine. The paper has just a hair of a texture on it. One of the things I want to mention now is that if you're doing pencil work in a sketchbook, I know they sell fixatives to try to keep everything from smudging, but the way to keep your drawings from smudging once you're done with them is take them out of your sketchbook and put them somewhere. So that's what I do to keep them from smudging, because honestly the products they sell to keep them from smudging just don't work for me. This is a Stillman Burn. This is a little pocket-sized sketchbook it's got real nice paper. It's seamed with you can see cotton thread, and this is archival, and it's about a 5x7. So I carry that one. That one's nice. I like it because it is multimedia, so I can get some water on there if I want to. This is the one I usually carry. I carry this one everywhere. So this is just my pen and ink. This is a moleskin, of course. I love these little notebooks. It really, everything I've done usually ends up some kind of preliminary sketch or something in my moleskin. I keep that in my pocket and carry it with me, like everywhere, whether I'm painting or drawing. But being that we're just doing drawing stuff, that's why I brought that one out. That's the moleskin. But choosing a sketchbook, I like to choose, it's got to be acid-free paper, and up around, gosh, really heavyweight, 190-ish, and a smooth, almost a hot press type of texture, real smooth texture. This is one from Lecturement, and it's nice. It's very nice paper. I like the sketchbook a lot. This is the first one I've ever had in orange. It's hardback, which actually proves well whenever I'm out there and I'm sitting down and I have an extra sketchbook, or I'm drawing in one and I have another one in my case. That hardback, believe it or not, I put that right on the ground and use it as a seat, like a chair. Keeps my butt from getting wet and cold. But Stillman and Burt, the Alpha series. Okay, this stuff is the bomb. All right, I really like this. It's got really nice. It's got a texture to the page, just a hair of a texture, but it's all acid free and archival, and it's got the binding that you're able to throw the cover over top and work out of here. And I can even work with this, from this edge or from that, whichever edge. So I like that one a lot. And it's also mixed media, which I'm getting into. Strathmore's got some mixed media stuff, smaller stuff, really, really heavy, good heavy stuff. I like that. It's got, this is 350-pound paper. So you can totally see the width of that. It's almost like a cardboard. So when I get out with my paints and stuff with watercolor, if I want to do a wash over top of my drawings, I have that. Now, this is an acid-free 90 weight, and 90 weight is about the lightest weight that I'll go. And it's really nice too. This is a multimedia from Strathmore. And it looks kind of like a silly journal, but man, it's got all the right stuff. It's got the hard cover, it's got the spine that you can flip over, and of course acid-free paper. It doesn't have the perforation. Some of them have a perforated edge that you can pull the sheet out. And the only one that I have found that can do that up to this point that I'm using is the Canson. Canson, good product. And then this is Bristol by Canson. Now it's not a sketchbook. It doesn't have all the spine that you can flip over and all that jazz. But man, is this nice paper. This Canson's got a Bristol paper that is just, if you want a finished product, something that's super fine quality, this is the stuff. This is 100 weight, and it's smooth Bristol paper. That's your stuff. The only thing with all of these sketchbooks that I have a complaint about is that if you're going to mat your work, if you're going to put your work under glass or in a mat, you know, you kind of need a piece, a platform, if you will, that's bigger than the basic frames. So your standard size frames are 5x7, 8x10, 11x14, which match most of the sizes of the papers that I'm using. So 11x14s, I have to measure out so that so I can get an 8x10, and then if it's an 8x10, you know, I have to make sure that I'm thinking about inside the matting so that when I draw. Well, anyhow, this is the case. All right, this is what I bring when I go drawing in plein air. If I'm going to do pencil drawing, pencil sketches and drawings, and any kind of graphite, really. But you'll see, these are my my supplies, and I recommend that anybody that's going to take one of my courses, one of my workshops, this is what you're looking for. All right. So you don't need a case like this, but you do need these. These supplies are crucial. I find myself using these every single time. Now this, well, half of a t-shirt, really. It's just a rag that I use to rest my hand on while I draw so that I'm not smudging up the rest of my drawings. So that goes on my knee and up on my sketchbook in between my knee and my hand and my paper, so I don't get any of the oils on the paper. This too. Not getting any oils on my paper. Just not a good thing. I don't want any skin oils on my paper, so that when I go to blend or smudge, you can see that. It's apparent when you erase, etc., etc. It's just not not something that's going to make your work look any good. So I try to avoid keeping all of my hands and fingers off of my stuff. A little clear ruler, it's got to be clear though, I'm telling you. Clear makes a difference. And I also carry a big clear ruler some of the time, so like a 12-inch ruler, but at least a 6-inch ruler so you can get a straight edge. And it really has to be clear. You have to be able to see through it. Oh, here's a little bug that climbed in my case while I was out. I didn't get to it. So I carry a couple of different erasers, but this eraser, that's the eraser you're going to want. A good white vinyl eraser, and I also carry a couple of eraser pens. Right, and they're just pens that the eraser comes out the end. Same stuff as the vinyl eraser. Vinyl erasers just seem to erase so much better. I just can't say enough. And an eraser shield. All right, so sometimes you make mistakes. You got your whole drawing down. You don't want to erase anything but the one line. Thank goodness for an eraser shield. So I keep that around. I use that a lot too. And some Tillion and stumps of various sizes. Used to blend with my fingers a lot, but you can do that. You can blend with your fingers, you can blend with anything. But these guys, game changer. If you don't use them, figure them out. They're easy enough to use, and they do a stupendous job of making your work look better than using your finger. All right, so the 4-hole pencil sharpener, 4 holes, right? So that we can start with taking the casing off and then get all the way down to a very fine point. And when that fine point runs out, I have a pointer. No, not the dog. This guy. And I can put a little tiny point on there, take some graphite off the edges and get my sharpness. And if that's not sharp enough, of course the sandpaper. That's a heck of a pointer there. I like to use that to get my point straight, even on my mechanical pencils. So here I'll show you the ones that I carry versus the ones that I use. So the super dark, say like the here you are, the 8B and the 6B, they're in there. They're just kind of on reserve because I don't like to get that super duper dark. But these are the ones that I use constantly. 4H, all right, a 2H, 4H, a 2H. This is an HB. This is a 2B. And this is a 4B. So, with just these 5 pencils, with these different softnesses, these will give you a good value scale to start with. And then you can come back in and touch it with some 6B and 8B, which are super dark stuff, you know. So, and these are Derwent, but I'm starting to use another brand of pencil. Derwent's a great pencil. I've used them for years, but I'm starting to find some of their binding is causing the lead to be like gritty. So, and then you'll see that I've got a couple of these. These are just pencil extenders, and they do just that. They extend the pencil, right? So I've got my little teeny tiny, this is my 2B, all right, and shoved it down in there so that I can use my pencil as a real drawing tool instead of just grabbing the very end. You know, I can actually use it to shade thanks to these extenders. So they're worth it. And then the secret weapons. These are my mechanical pencils that I carry. From this one I hardly use, but it's a great big black crayon pencil. And then I've got a next smaller tip, and a next smaller tip, and the next smaller tip. And this is just a standard size pencil that I keep in there. And then the secret weapon, these little teeny tiny, these are throwaway mechanical pencils from way back when, and look at the size of the lead on that. So I don't really need a whole lot of pointer going on, but I do use my pointer to put a point on these, and man, do they give you some good dark lines. It's good stuff. So that's all of what I keep in my plein air case for when I'm doing graphite work. You'll need it for perspective workshops. The other thing that I carry, a stool, just a little lightweight stool. It's got a pocket in it, and it's good to just sit down, you know, when you're sitting there for hours and hours drawing, unless you want to sit in the grass or whatever. And then if you want to stand, you know, I put my put a lot of my work on drawing boards, and I just tape it to the board, and then the board will go up on your easel, and you can work from an easel that way if you're working on graphite and paper and that type of medium. So hopefully that gives you what you need to do to get started with just your graphite coming out to my perspective workshops. I hope that helps out. I'll put a list of this material on my website, so go to visari.net, VISSARI.net, and take a look under the classes for the actual supply list. But this is what it looks like when I go out. Hopefully I'll see you out there. Thanks. See you next time.